In the heart of the desert, Moses, a weary fugitive, faces divine wrath under a starry sky, but one woman's courage will change everything. Enter Zipporah, a fierce Midianite woman, standing bold with a flint knife, defying the heavens to save her husband. Who is this unsung heroine? Exodus 6 tells of a mysterious night when Zipporah's quick action fulfilled God's covenant, sparing Moses from death. Zipporah's name means bird, a symbol of freedom. Her enigmatic eyes hold a story of faith, sacrifice, and strength. If you're new here, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to join our journey through biblical stories rooted in the Black experience. Like a bird soaring over golden dunes, Zipporah's spirit is free, yet tethered to her Midianite roots and a divine calling. Daughter of Jethro, a Midianite priest, Zipporah grew up in a world of tents and flocks, her life shaped by desert traditions. In Midian, altars blended Yahwistic faith with ancient rites, a complex heritage Zipporah carried with pride. Genesis 25, verse 1-4, connects Midian to Abraham's lineage, grounding Zipporah's story in a deep African and biblical legacy. Jethro, her father, praised Yahweh at the mountain of God, a place where faith and culture intertwined. Moses, fleeing Egypt's oppression, trudged through scorching dunes, a man without a home seeking refuge. At a Midianite well, Moses found hope, a spark that would ignite a divine partnership with Zipporah. Zipporah approached the well, water jar in hand, her calm demeanor hiding a fierce spirit. Rough shepherds harassed her, but Zipporah stood defiant, protecting her sisters with unwavering resolve. Moses, a stranger, stepped in, staff raised, driving the shepherds away with the authority of a born leader. With kindness, Moses drew water for the women, his eyes meeting Zipporah's in a moment of gratitude. Jethro welcomed Moses to his tent, seeing a man of courage destined for greatness. Under a desert canopy, Zipporah vowed to Moses in a Midianite wedding, her heart alight with love and purpose. Yet as a Midianite in Moses' world, Zipporah faced a crossroads, torn between her roots and his divine call. Their son Gershom, meaning foreigner, was born, a symbol of their life in exile, cradled in love. Eliezer, their second son, arrived, his name, God is my help, reflecting their faith in divine protection. Gershom stood between Midian's hills and Israel's future, a child caught in his parents' divided worlds. Moses led his family toward Egypt, resolute to fulfill God's mission, the desert stretching before them. Zipporah rested by a fire under the stars, her heart heavy with the journey ahead. In a desert tent, divine light loomed over Moses, threatening death for an unfulfilled covenant. Genesis 17:10-14 demanded circumcision, a seal of God's promise to Abraham's descendants. A flint knife lay ready, glowing with divine purpose, a tool of obedience in the face of judgment. Zipporah, with steady hands, circumcised her son, her face tense, knowing Moses' life hung in the balance. She pressed the blood-stained cloth to the ground, a bold act of faith to appease God's wrath. "You are a bridegroom of blood," Zipporah declared, her voice fierce, sealing the covenant with her resolve. As the divine light faded, Zipporah stood relieved, her courage saving her family from destruction. By a Midianite altar, Zipporah wrestled with her identity, torn between her heritage and God's call. In the tense shadows, Zipporah felt distant, the weight of her sacrifice pulling her from Moses' path. Zipporah walked from the camp, sorrow in her eyes, choosing to return to Midian with her sons. Moses reunited with his family at the mountain of God, his face hopeful, ready to lead Israel. Zipporah watched an Israelite ritual from the camp's edge, curious but feeling like an outsider. Her silhouette faded into the desert mist, leaving only footprints, a sign of her quiet departure. Miriam, Moses' sister, whispered criticism of his Cushite wife, her words sharp with judgment. Midian's proximity to Cush raised questions. Was Zipporah the target of Miriam's scorn? God struck Miriam with leprosy, a divine rebuke for her prejudice, her hand pale with shame. Miriam bowed under divine light, humbled as God's justice prevailed in the desert camp. Jethro bid farewell, returning to Midian, his priestly wisdom leaving a lasting mark. Zipporah stood at a desert fork torn between Midian's comfort and Israel's uncertain future. Her image faded, overlaid with ancient texts, her story slipping into biblical mystery. A Cushite woman stood in the camp, mysterious, perhaps a new wife or Zipporah herself. Zipporah's half-lit face lingered in the starry sky, her legacy enigmatic yet profound. Zipporah's hands, steady with the flint knife, glowed with faith, a testament to her obedience. Alone in the desert, her robes blowing, Zipporah embodied sacrifice, choosing God's will over comfort. She walked from Midian's tents, her heart set on a divine purpose, the horizon vast before her. In the tent's shadow, Zipporah's face showed strain, the cost of her loyalty to Moses' mission. Gazing upward, Zipporah trusted God, her eyes catching the faint glow of divine assurance. Gershom, a young boy, stood on a radiant path, his future tied to his mother's courage. A heart split between covenant and family pulsed in the desert, reflecting Zipporah's struggle. A modern black pastor's spouse prays, her faith echoing Zipporah's steadfast devotion. Zipporah's urgent act of circumcision saved Moses, her resolve shining in the tense night. Standing heroic, flint knife aside, Zipporah glowed with divine favor, a true covenant keeper. Alongside Esther, Ruth, and Mary, Zipporah stood as a pillar of faith, her story eternal. A candle's flame burned bright, its small light casting a powerful glow, like Zipporah's legacy. A hand offered a covenant symbol to a glowing altar, Zipporah's faith enduring through time. A pebble's ripples spread across water, her small act shaping the Exodus's grand narrative. Zipporah's face emerged from shadow, her eyes shining with purpose under a starry sky. Her silhouette sent ripples of light, her influence touching generations beyond her time. Drop a comment. Does Zipporah deserve more recognition for her role in the Exodus? Zipporah's form blended into the Red Sea's parting, her faith a quiet force in Israel's freedom. Her footprints faded in the sand, yet her impact lingered in the moonlight desert. Praying in a Midianite tent, Zipporah's serenity reflected her trust in God's plan. Moses led Israel, his strength rooted in Zipporah's sacrifice, her presence unseen but felt. Zipporah handed the flint knife to a glowing seal, her mission complete, her legacy sealed. Tell us in the comments, what was Zipporah's greatest impact on the Exodus story? Zipporah, flint knife in hand, stood radiant at sunrise, her faith a beacon in the desert. A figure stepped into divine light, covenant seal in hand, echoing Zipporah's obedience. Ripples from a pebble spread, her courage inspiring faith across time and cultures. Moses walked a radiant path, his leadership built on Zipporah's unwavering support. A modern black missionary packs her bags, her determination mirroring Zipporah's resolve. Zipporah's silhouette faded into the stars, her legacy eternal in the heavens. In a mural of biblical women, Zipporah shone, her courage uniting her with the faithful. A candle's flame glowed in a tent, its light a symbol of Zipporah's quiet strength. Comment below. Should Zipporah be celebrated as a heroine of faith? A flint knife rested on a glowing altar, its purpose fulfilled by Zipporah's hand. Zipporah left Midian, her face resolute, embracing the cost of her divine calling. By a Midianite altar, Zipporah wrestled with her identity, torn between two worlds. Moses spoke to Israel, his leadership casting Zipporah into the shadows of his mission. A cracked covenant seal reflected the tension between Zipporah's roots and her faith. Zipporah walked a desert path, guided by divine light, Midian fading behind her. A modern black believer stood firm in a crowd, her conviction echoing Zipporah's strength. Zipporah joined biblical women in a collage, her resilience a testament to faith. Comment: what challenges did Zipporah face as a Midianite in Israel's story? Zipporah held the flint knife, her urgent act a bridge between cultures and covenants. A glowing covenant seal bore the weight of divine expectation, Zipporah's legacy within. Gershom stood on a radiant path, his future shaped by his mother's courage. Zipporah, haloed by divine light, stood heroic, her faith etched in eternity. Zipporah's silhouette faded into the desert mist, leaving questions unanswered. At a desert fork, Zipporah hesitated, torn between Midian and Israel's call. Her fading image, overlaid with texts, hinted at a story lost to time. A Cushite woman stood in the camp. Was she Zipporah, or another mystery? Zipporah's footprints faded in the sand, her presence lingering in the moonlight. Comment: what do you think happened to Zipporah after her story faded? Zipporah prayed in a Midianite tent, her serenity a quiet act of faith. Moses led Israel, his path paved by Zipporah's unseen sacrifices. Zipporah handed the flint knife to a glowing seal, her mission complete. Her silhouette sent ripples of light, her influence shaping history. Zipporah stood with biblical women, her courage a timeless inspiration. A hand offered a covenant symbol, Zipporah's faith guiding us today. A pebble's ripples reached a radiant horizon, her legacy alive in our hearts. Zipporah's face shone with purpose, urging us to act with courage. A modern black missionary glowed with faith, Zipporah's spirit in her steps. Comment, how does Zipporah inspire your faith today? Zipporah, flint knife in hand, stood heroic at sunrise, a call to obedience. She left Midian, resolute, her sacrifice a model for us all. Gershom walked a radiant path, his mother's courage lighting his way. A flint knife on a glowing altar spoke of Zipporah's fulfilled purpose. Zipporah's face blended into the stars, her impact eternal. In a mural of biblical women, Zipporah's strength called us to faith. Zipporah's silhouette shaped the Red Sea's parting, her faith a hidden force. A hand offered a sacrifice, Zipporah's legacy glowing on a radiant path. A candle's flame burned bright, her small act casting a powerful light. Comment, should Zipporah be more recognized for her role? Zipporah, heroic with her flint knife, stood haloed by divine light. A figure stepped into divine light, Zipporah's faith guiding our steps. Zipporah joined biblical women, her courage uniting the faithful. Her face faded into the stars, her legacy eternal in God's story. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell for more biblical stories. What's next? Stay tuned.